Hey guys, welcome back. Let's dive straight back into this, shall we? I'm still a bit ill, so I do apologize if I sound a bit rough still. I've been eating plenty of soup and whatnot, and it's been a rough week at uni, so what can you do, eh? Okay, so from last video I showed you the basics of how to actually import light into UDK and what different kind of light variants there were. Ignore that. Um, Today what we're going to do is import a light box Lightbox, sorry, a skybox, add a material instance to it, make it a night scene, and then we're going to add some fire in here and light it all up. That's the plan today. We have about 20 minutes, so let's get cracking, shall we? So we're going to do the same things we did before, except we're going to go to the content browser here. I'm only going to use UDK assets for this, guys, so you can make the exact same level. So we're going to go to content. Actually, we need to be, I think it's engine. Actually, it might be engine. Let's find out. Type in sky. You'll want to look for this here, called the sky sphere. Drop it in. Okay, go back to view. As you can see, position it nicely. Press spacebar, and then resize it up massively. There we go. That's about right. Position it again. Look around. As you can see, we have a bit of an issue there. So what we're going to do, which is a very big issue, what we're going to do is move it down to start with to get rid of that lines. And this is what we have so far. As you can see, we have a lot of issue over there, but don't worry, we're going to fix that now. We're going to open up UDK, like so. We're going to scroll up. You should see something called material instance content. We're just going to drag and drop that in. As you can see, we now have a skylight. The dark moon still there. We can fix that later down the line. That'll most likely be another video how to fix this because it is a fair bit intricate. But what we're going to do now, we got a nice little lighting system here. We don't have a directional light in this level yet, so let's add a directional light in to give us some light. Actor classes, lights, directional lights. We need a dominant directional light. We're just going to place that here so we know where it is. Back to this. As you can see now we have a moon. So let's position this up so we know where it is. Oh, it's way over there. UDK. Position it up properly. We're going to need to control this, so we need to know where it is. Move it all the way over here. Here. Drop it down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if we're going to have this kind of shot, we want the moon to be probably in between that rocks or peeking out. So let's rotate this. Oh. So yeah, rotating this does actually move the moon. If you move it normally, it doesn't do anything. But if you rotate it, you can actually position where you want the moon coming from, which also positions the lighting. So you get the right shadows. Nifty, right guys? So let's get down the angle we need to be down to first before we position this. So we're going to drop this down as well. So we can position it down there. So we want to be about here, I'd say. As you can see, it's now hidden. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it up. Let's have it peering to the left a little bit. So, sorry, the right. No, left. Yeah, I was right. Okay. Something like that, I think. Nice, nice. Still low. It doesn't really look moony, does it? You got the light coming in now. I want to just move that over just a little bit. There we go. As you can see, the only issue with this sort of setup is the moon follows you. But like I said, this is only for a shot. Like, as in, you wouldn't use this in game. This is for more when you want to take a screen grab of lighting. But all the principles I'm showing you here can apply to a level except this part here. Like all the lighting I'm about to show you will apply to a level. You will need to do the lighting for a level. But everything else, besides the skybox, is relevant. Like, it still works, but it's just a bit annoying that you can move around and the moon sort of moves with you when it should stay in place. Anyway, let's get in position. I'll probably post a video later today when I actually figure out myself how to fix that, because I have a feeling it's something to do with the constant of the moon, but yet to avail. So we want it to, as soon as we get line up the right shot, we're good to go. That's about right, actually. We want something like that, so we can have the lighting coming off here, lighting come off the engine. Okay, that looks good. So we have a moon, but it's far too bright, so we're going to open up the options again. Like I said, I'm trying to rush this as fast as possible, as I know you guys can spend as much time as you like on this, but I'm trying to keep the videos to about 20 minutes. So we're going to open up the options for this. First things first, we can edit the brightness. For a moon, generally your brightness is about 0.7 or 0.6. You can sort of edit it yourself and sort of get what you want. Like, I think that's okay for a moon sort of environment, like especially something like that. Next thing we're going to do is going to change the colour, because a moon is not white, believe it or not. It's more of a tinted sort of colour, maybe something like this. So mess around with it to how you like. To me, that'll probably do. Looks a bit more moony. I might even decrease that by another point as well. Mess around with it, see what you can come up with. So 0.5 is okay for me. Get rid of the light component. Let's put light shafts on. For any of you guys that doesn't know what this do, if I can show you, I'll show you. Can you see that there? I don't know if you can see it. Actually, I'll bump up the light so you can see it. I also need to bump up the light now as well. Let's bump up to 2 so you can see the light shafts. Can you see them there? I still can't see them, can you? Just try 10. You should be able to see them 10. There you go. Can you sort of see the light shafts coming off the moon now? As you get away from the object, it sort of debrightens slightly. Anyway, that's way too bright for a moon anyway, but you know. Let's put it on 1. You can slightly see the light shafts there. It's okay. Cool. Light shafts once again will need changing. They are not white. They are more of an orange. That might be too bright because I actually didn't have the moon in shot. So let's play around with this, shall we? You can also edit the bloom scale. So for example, if I put that to 3, 4, you can sort of see it changes a bit. Bloom threshold as well. If I max that to 10, you can sort of see. Don't know how well this is showing for you guys actually. So I might just increase the brightness just to 3 or 4. Just so you can sort of see what the thresholds are doing. Can you see? If you can't, I do apologize. Basically, just it sorts out the light mass. You'll only be able to see this really on your screen, but you get the idea. So let's put that down to 0. Room threshold. I believe I only have it on 0.8. Oops. God damn. There we go. You can also edit the radical blur percentage as well. Just mess around with these settings, guys. I mean, if you hover over them as well, I'll tell you what it does. So, you know, editing light shafts really does give you that effect. So you want light shafts on, well, for just scenes. Generally, don't use light shafts too much because it can really eat up the memory and the CPU. It's very rarely used now. I mean, you'll see it in Call of Duty or any other games. Generally, only when trees are involved. But that's about it. I mean, I wonder if I can actually show you the trees. That's not showing up that well. It's hard to see. I do apologise. I'll show you the best I can, but it's being a bit of a bugger lately. So let's just put that there. That's nice. That's nifty. Still a bit bright, but we can, like I said, you'll play around with it to get you what you get. Like I said, I'm on a timer. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is add some lighting in there. So we're going to need some fire to start with. So let's just quickly pop up to content, all assets, fire. Go into here, click particle effects. Let's see. This actually might just do it. Where'd it go? Oh, UDK, what are you doing lately? Puts things so far out of map, I don't know why. There we go, let's pull up. Where'd it go? God, that went high. Okay, I'm just getting trolled now. Okay, there it is. To see the particle effects, if you click this on here, there you go. It shows you what it does. For some reason, this. Oh, I already pre-lit this level. That's right. Let's just get rid of these so you guys can see a bit better. But yeah, I already pre-lit this level and I completely forgot. So I'll just get rid of these very quickly. Yep. Okay. So, do we want to use this lighting? Is there any better ones? For vehicle destruction. UDK can be a pain in times, but bear with it, guys. It's a good engine, I'm not gonna lie. There it is. Kind of like that one because it sort of has the display, the blur effect in it. So we're gonna get rid of this. We'll use this. So the idea of this basically is we're gonna create scenery here. So it looks like this is a crash sort of spaceship. Now I'm gonna do this very quickly, but bear with me. So the idea is you want to put it where you think it'd be logical. So this is just crashed. Maybe this is on fire. Just always test your levels to make sure it looks okay. To me that looks fine. Don't see corals with that. Might grab some as well. Might set some grass alight. So let's quickly grab that and shrink it down. Shrink it down even more actually. Let's put it in the grass. If you guys are wondering why it's snapping so bad, it's because I have a 16 snap. Generally I have it on 2, but it depends on how you've learned to place objects. I have it on 2, some people have it on 4, I know people that still use 16. It's up to you. So maybe set the grass alight a little bit. Oops, 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 I'm gonna have to cut that. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so let's not do that again, let's do that. Okay, there we go, so let's set the grass alight. Very quickly. There you go. Oh no, the grass is alight, no. Maybe there's some fire coming out the over here, maybe where this is. So let's just grab this and drag it. I think it's made video maybe over 20 minutes. So I do apologize, guys. I knew lighting texturing wasn't going to be easy for you, or for me to explain in such a short period. So let's say the fire is God, the smoke effect is doing nothing. Let's say the fire is behind the broken wing. Sorry, I'm focusing. So maybe we'll have like 2 of these, sort of on the wing. We'll have a look what it looks like. I said play around with it, see what you guys can come up with. If you guys have any feedback, that'd be great, by the way. So yeah, maybe that's on fire. Maybe you can have a fire coming out of here as well. If I was doing this properly, I'd spend so much longer on this, but I just don't have the time, which is kind of sad. So obviously this is going to be rotated because the fire won't be coming from top, maybe from side. So you can edit the particle effects like that as well. I was going to show you guys that last episode, but it's something it takes all of 2 seconds to explain. So let's just position this in properly. We're obviously going to scale that down because that's a big particle effect coming off that. Let's position that correctly. Okay, so we got our particle effects in there. Is that in? That's not in correctly. Can be a bit annoying at times, so just play around with it. There we go, I'll have to do. Let's have a look what that looks like. Yep, that looks cool. There you go, you've seen the shafts there. Okay, cool. So we have our lighting in. Next step is now to actually simulate lighting. So, I mean, you've got these, it gives off no light whatsoever. So what we're going to do is we are going to go into Content Browser. For this, we're going to use a spotlight, or we can use a point light, whichever you guys feel more comfortable using. For me, generally, it's a spotlight, but a point light can simulate overall roundness effects, so we'll give it a try. So we'll grab that in. Bit bright. We'll deal with that. So go like this. Let's edit the brightness down significantly. Let's edit the radius so we can actually see it. Set the brightness up now. Just sort of shows where the brightness is. Okay, let's turn into more of a red effect to give off the idea of flame. Sorry if you heard that in the background. That was my very bad chair, which is absolutely killing my back. So you can sort of see, makes it look like the fire is actually emitting light. So we can boost it up if you want like that. It's up to you. Generally, fire doesn't give off a massive amount, like small like that one wouldn't give off a major amount. So something like that might be acceptable. Like I said, I'm doing this very quick. You can sort of see what effects you can really get with this. So that looks okay. Let's add another one in. You can use point lights, spotlights, whatever floats your boat. Sometimes I'll use them both. Depends how I feel. Once again, let's mess with this. Drag this in. This one needs a bit of a bigger radius. If you notice, it hasn't affected the skeletal mesh because it's a skeletal mesh. It requires you to edit the dynamic settings. I wouldn't use skeletal meshes if you guys can help it, because they are a pain to play with. Like if I put this over here, watch, you'll see something strange. So see there. Strange, right? Actually works in this scene like that. So we're just gonna leave that there, and we're gonna grab another one of these and edit the. You know what we'll have to do there? Then we'll just make that fire look a bit bigger, so it looks like it's giving off that much light. Just a tad bit. Ooh, a bit big. That'll do. Something like that. So it actually looks like it's giving off that much luminosity. Let's increase the radius on this. We want this one over here. Okay. Like I said, I'm doing this quick, guys, but take your time, please. I mean, stuff for portfolio you should take your time. I wonder if these videos are being published at the same time. I don't know what my schedule's like right now for publishing. We'll probably increase the brightness on this. Just not too much. Because it's a big lighting system, you're going to have a lot more light than you do with the small one. And it's going to be a lot more ready. So, something like that maybe. That looks okay so far. We're going to have some light coming off here. Now I can show you what bounce lighting is. Bounce lighting is important in the lighting system. So, we're not going to be able to use point lights for bounce lighting. We have to use spotlights. I'll show you how that works now. Okay. So, act classes. We're going to go into spotlights. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I'm at 60 minutes. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. I'm trying to keep it under 20. If it goes over, I do apologize. So spotlights, get the spotlight, place it in, pull it up. Where'd it go? There it is. So, I'm just gonna turn off the directional. Sorry, the light mask, this light shift. Sorry, so we get more of a darker scene. Actually, maybe because we haven't built it. That's probably why, actually. You need to always make sure you build the lighting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly just dim this down a little bit because it's doing my head in. Forgot I put it to a high setting, to be honest with you. So normally your lighting needs to be about 0.6. Actually, it's a bit low. Well, 0.8 should do it. There we go. You can sort of see that gives a lot more aspect effect now. I was gonna say it was a bit bright. Okay. So we want to edit the radius of this. Do something like that. Let's just edit the brightness so we can actually see what we're playing with to start with. There we go. So that's the brightness there. We're going to make it a dome color. There we go. Now we want to shrink the cone to about 22. We'll decrease the brightness now as well. Not the radius, the brightness. There we go. Right, so we're going to move that here. So obviously, if there's a fire, there's going to be a lot of light underneath it, right? But there's also going to be lighting bouncing off by lighting. So we're going to copy this. We're going to rotate this around. We're going to increase the radius. We're going to position it where we need it to be to start with. Okay. Does that look right? Yeah, it does, except there's a gap of light there, which we can fix. If we can get the spotlight. There we go. Come on. There we go. So, as you can see, we've got some lighting bouncing off here, but the thing is you gotta keep in mind as well, when lighting hits a certain object, so for example, say this was metal and say it was actually not a static mesh, you'd have the lighting bouncing off here, which would then maybe hit over here because it's bouncing off there and hitting there. Depending on the material it's hitting, so for this it would be metal, light bounces differently, so you've got to think of this from a very logical point of view. If it's hitting a surface that's not flat, it's going to bounce off in different directions. If it's hitting a surface that's flat, it's going to bounce off at the same angle it hit. It's very basic lighting logic, so I do recommend you guys look a little bit into how actually light functions and how it actually illuminates an area. So a little bit of background research for you guys to do there before touching lighting. But yeah, let's continue on, shall we? So what were we doing? We were playing with this. So for example, this here is giving off luminosity. Chances are it might actually go over here a little bit. Like if there was a fire here, it would hit this plant. But we're not going to focus on that too much. So we got fire here, which is going to cause... We can actually use a point light for that, not a spotlight. Point lights are much easier to control as well. So let's grab another point light. Like I said, this is very quick, guys, so I don't expect you to rush it as much as I am right now. You should pay a lot of attention to detail to lighting. Lighting can make and break a scene. Okay, there we go. Obviously, oh, hold on. I had that in the wrong position, didn't I? Why are they floating? Apologies, that's my fault. But yeah, let's just lower this then. Probably increase the radius of this. Increase the radius, decrease the brightness by a bit. There we go. So you get the idea how it works now. That's about right. So let's look at this. Okay. So you'd have lighting hitting here as well. But once again, this object is very strange in how it lights. So I'll need another one of these. I need to find where this object lights. It's because it's a skeletal mesh, and it's because I haven't enabled the correct options. So, okay. Like that, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Like I said, this is all impromptu, but you get the idea. Generally, that should be a bit more brighter, but okay. Got this. Like I said, mess around with this. The lighting. This is just a very basic skybox. I'll make an advanced tutorial on how to actually implement and create much more realistic and authentic looking skyboxes. But right now, I just want to get the basic lighting systems to you guys so you can sort of see how a little bit of lighting can make all the greatest effect. This is a very rushed scene, but you get the idea. You want to focus on where your placement of particle effects is, your placement of lighting, point lights, spotlights, and so on. I'll finish it off by giving you a quick wrap up of what I'd actually use each lighting system for. So directional lights are generally used for outdoors areas. They're the sun basically, of a sun of any level. You need it if you got sun or any outdoors part. Point lights are good for filling up rooms, especially doing a light system. You put the radius on high and the lighting on low, and it'll light up the area without actually looking like there's a light source, which is good. It's also good for giving off the effect of light spreading in a sort of spear. So, for example, if you have a candle or a flame or maybe just a bulb, you want to simulate the effect of it spreading outwards rather than just in one direction, you can use a point light. Spotlights are great for lamps, great for sort of focusing on one area in particular. So, for example, say you have a swaying lampshade from the top of the roof. If you attach a if you attach a spotlight to that, it can make it look like it's actually swinging with the light system and all that stuff. Yeah, so basically you get the idea how lighting works. I apologize if this video did run over 20 minutes. I want to keep it under 20. The next video I produce will be how to use matinee sequences in UDK and how to use Kismet. When I say Kismet, I mean very basic. I can do advanced editions if you guys would like to see advanced editions. I don't mind. If that's what you want, let me know, and I'll do that for you. Other than that, guys, if you have any quests you'd like to see me do in UDK or Unity or any other engine, let me know in the comments. If there's anything you didn't understand in this video, let me know, and I'll probably do a recap of it. I'll probably even show you guys the end result of this level, actually. I'll spend like maybe a few hours tomorrow or something working on it, and I'll post a video showing off the end result of that when I get a chance. If you got any questions, ask below, anything like that, you know. Subscribe if you liked it, comment if you liked it, comment if you hated it, let me know why you hated it, you know. Criticism is good criticism. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video, which is